Monday, March 20th, 2017, and my name is Bill McCamley. I am a state representative from here in Las Cruces and Mesilla with your legislative update for the day. It's been a couple of days since the legislative session ended on Saturday at noon, and I wanted to let you know a couple of things, both some of the bills that I was able to get passed, as well as where we might be going from here in terms of the budget and the other situations of the state. So, had two economic development bills that passed. One created more hours at the Santa Teresa Board of Entry so we can stay up until midnight and compete with Texas. Another one gave the state more flexibility with workforce training dollars to be able to provide hopefully more high-wage jobs here in the state, create more money here for economic development. Both of those are on the governor's desk, and we'll see whether she signs them or not. I was able to co-sponsor with Andres and Romero a bill requiring the state to do next generation science standards. I first carried this bill in 2013, and the standards have been available now for 4 years. The state has not implemented them. They haven't really been able to give a reason why. There's some speculation. I think this is probably the case, that because those standards include evolution and climate change, that it's such a political football on the Republican side of the aisle that she's decided not to do it. But we passed the bill. It's sitting on her desk. Hopefully she signs it. She probably won't, but hopefully those rules get promulgated, because the longer we wait to implement these new teaching methods, the harder it is for our kids to be competing in a 21st century economy. Passed a little bill, actually with a Republican, that will allow for a fund to do state watershed restoration and cleanup on state lands. This was a good idea that was endorsed by a very Republican state land commissioner, as well as a lot of the conservation groups, so that was really nice. Also sponsored a bill for athletic trainers who do a lot of great work in the schools in the state with student athletes, to give them some newer rules so that state law really reflects their new systems at the national level. I was a co-sponsor and really helped with industrial hemp, as well as get a bill, did a lot of work on a bill that would allow for computer science, once again a 21st century skill for our students, to be used as a math or science credit in middle and high school, or in high schools. Both of these bills were actually vetoed by the governor in the last couple of weeks of the session, but she didn't provide a reason for the vetoes, and so our legislative council says if she doesn't do that in the 3 days that she was given to veto in that portion of time, that they become law. And so I'm assuming that both hemp and computer science will become law, though the Supreme Court might have to settle that in a court case later on. I was also very, very happy to be a co-sponsor on the State Ethics Commission constitutional amendment. This will be on your ballot if you are a New Mexico voter in 2018. And I encourage you to vote for it. We should have an independent check on both the governor and her administration, as well as we as legislators. I will vote for that in a year and a half, and I hope that you do too. Had a couple of other things. I had a memorial on the House side. There was one on the Senate side. The Senate one got passed, the one on the House didn't, but I worked on it just the same to start the process of looking at consolidation of university bureaucracies. Right now we have 17 different bureaucracies in the state for four-year institutions and community colleges, and other states do it with much less bureaucracy, and I think we should start that. I also had a bill 2 years ago that I worked with Joanne Ferrari this year carrying. She's a state legislator here in Las Cruces, that would establish limits for standardized testing in schools, and she was able to get that through on the governor's desk. And though it will probably be vetoed, I'm very proud of her, and I'm happy that that issue is moving forward. So what happens from here? So the governor has 20 days from the end of the session on Saturday to either sign or veto all of the bills, if they're passed in the last 3 days of the session. And if she doesn't sign them at the end of 20 days, that is called a pocket veto, and so the bills do not become law anyway. So basically, she has to be proactive and sign them, or they become law. She also has this prerogative on the budget and revenue package for the state. Now, what we did was set up a budget and a revenue package with some different menu items for possible revenue increases. They include a new weight distance fee for heavy trucks, a 1% increase in the car excise tax, a healthcare tax, a tax on internet services. A lot of these are just closing loopholes that have happened in the past. If she signs the budget but does not sign any of these revenue increases, we will not be in balance, and we'll have to go back as a state legislature to find a way to hopefully work with her in coming up with a way to fund our budget, so we don't have to have more draconian cuts to our schools, our universities, our cops, our healthcare programs that we all do at the state. So we'll be waiting to see what she does there, and if that happens, I'll hopefully let you know as soon as I know. So thanks for watching this. I appreciate it. And if you have questions, comments, or concerns on these or any other issues, I'd love to hear from you. Hope everyone's having a lovely New Mexico week. Bye.